So now we've got our dough balls after 48 hours, and we've taken them out of the fridge now. They've been out for about 4 hours out of the fridge. We're gonna make the first pizza with it. So first step, take a little bit of flour, just a little bit. And then secret weapon, secret ingredient, a little bit of semolina. Right, this gives it a bit of a, more of a crunchy texture. Give it a mix. And then the dough ball, because we put it in bags, we've started it off in bags, it's very easy to get a mess here. And obviously we want a nice circle. So we're going to turn the bag inside out to try and get the dough out as it is, maintaining its structure as it is. So inside out, that's the bottom, and that's the top. Okay, so now that we've got both sides with a bit of flour on them, we're going to push the air out. There it is. And if you feel that the top's still a bit sticky or the bottom's still a bit sticky, you can obviously use a bit more of the flour there. And that will help you to push the air. And you want to try it and get like an evenly flat, circular shape where all the air is going towards it. Once you've got to about this size, now you push the middle in and pull, and do that in a circular, so that you're again evenly pushing it out and stretching it. And at this point we've got it a little bit bigger. Now we can actually lift it up and start stretching it by hand, and you're going around in a circular motion. And obviously you don't want to get it too big and make a hole in it. You've got to be careful. Right, now we've got it to the size that we roughly want it. I'm going to spread the remaining flour on the bottom. Give it one more go round. Right, there we go. And we can lay it down and start to put our toppings. Put some olive oil. This one got a little bit of chilli in there. Then the tomato. 2 spoons of tomato. So we'll give it a little bit more. Right. And now the cheese. And this is the first pizza of the day, so we're going to make margherita for the first pizza. I've got some basil. Now the basil, when you're putting it on, you want to put some olive oil on your basil. If you don't put olive oil on it, it's going to burn. So a bit of olive oil on the basil. And as we're in Vietnam, we've actually got, this is Thai basil. So I need to grow some European basil. Right, and that's it. That's our margherita. I'm going to give it one more little stretch out here. Now that we've got our toppings on. There it is. And we can put it in the oven now. Right, so the first pizza done. And we're going to put it onto a different surface. There it is, looking good, it's looking bubbly. So we've cut the pizza up and just have a look at how bubbly it is. Nice bubbles. Right, so once you've got the packet open, I guess that's the hardest part for me really here. But once you've got the packet open, you want to just turn it inside out. The idea is that you don't want to disrupt the skin that's formed over the top of the dough ball. So we turn it inside out and we'll put it straight into the flour. So that's the bottom that's facing up and that's the top. So we're going to push the air out. Now this dough is a little bit on the hydrated, so not too hydrated, it's about 60%. But you want a little bit of flour on the top to stop it from sticking to your hands. And see there at the bottom, the same way. You don't want it sticking to the surface. So you need to make sure that the flour does hit the right places so that it doesn't stick to your hands or stick to the bottom. And you just want to push out the air and try and get around and even thickness. All right, so once we're at this size, we can put our hand in the middle and start pulling the edges in a circle, trying to again get the circular shape while getting the thickness even throughout the dough. So now we've got it a little bit bigger, it's time to lift it up. So first thing I do is the remaining flour, I'm just going to put it at the bottom there, and then again in circles like that, go around, stretch, go around, stretch, and just do that until you feel that your dough's at the right thickness. Obviously you don't want to go too far and make a hole, right? So once we've got it to a nice thickness, put it down, and again let's start with some olive oil, some tomato, right, we're going to put veggies on this one. Now when you're putting toppings on pizza, especially thin pizza, you need to be careful not to put too many toppings, right? This is a mistake that a lot of people make. They think they can put loads of things on it, and then what happens, you get a hole in your pizza. So you really want to avoid getting a hole, and sometimes it's the simple things that are the best. And that's the same with the cheese as well, you know, like sometimes having a little bit of tomato in there, you know, it doesn't have to be completely saturated with cheese. Right, and then this one here, we're going to put some beef. This is special, slow cooked, Vietnamese style tender beef. Right, and a little bit more veggies. We'll put some broccoli on the top. And again, you know, I'm pushing the boat out here with the toppings, putting a few on. So I don't want to overweigh it down. And so look here, making it a bit bigger. Okay, here we go. Pizza number 2. Oh, we need the plate for this one. Alright, so there it is. for the cheese pizza, only olive oil. Right, we're gonna also, secret ingredient is we're gonna use some of the Italian herbs. And with the olive oil, obviously, they're gonna infuse into the oil. So there you have it, we've got our Italian herbs. We'll give it a little bit of a mix. And put our cheese down. And like I said, guys, this is a favourite. You can put gorgonzola, you can mix different types of cheeses. Today, I've only got mozzarella. Because this is just a cheese pizza, I'm going to put a bit more mozzarella than I would normally put if I was doing it with tomato. So there you have it. I'm going to just, before going in, let's put a little bit of basil on there. Can't go wrong with a bit of basil, and one more bit of wood in the oven. That's your sort of your last chance to get a bit more size on it. We'll pull a bit of the cheese, a bit more. Right, there it is. Let's put it on. And then you've got a nice cheesy . Right, so we mix the flour and fine semolina. We're going to take our bag. You can see from when we put it in, before it was refrigerated, it wasn't as flat as this. Now it's become flatter. This one's been in the fridge for 48 hours and it's been out of the fridge now for about 4 hours. So it's nice and soft. It's not cold anymore and it's ready to be made into a pizza. So we're going to take the dough bag, we're going to open it. Now this is the tricky part for me, is actually opening these bags up once I've tied them shut. Right, here we go. So you open the bag, you don't want to disturb the skin. Okay, that's built up over time. You want to take it inside out and put it down into the flour. Trying not to disturb the shape of it. So this is the bottom that's facing up. Turn it round. Make sure that it's nicely coated with flour so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And we're pushing the air towards the outer edges, like so. And that's what's going to give us our bubbles in the crust, is the air. If you don't keep air, you won't get any bubbles in your crust. Okay, so now that we've got it to this size, we're ready to start pulling it. Hand in the middle and pull, hand in the middle, pull. And the same thing in the other directions. You want to try and maintain that circular shape. And then we've got it a little bit bigger, we can start stretching it. So before I go in, I'm just going to get this nice and evenly spread out. Don't want it sticking to the bottom after you've stretched it. And you're going round in a circle. Because the thin is, the middle's already thin. So you just want to go around the edges to thin out the edges there. So here, look, we've got it nice and big. Right, we're going to put it back on there. And we're ready to put our toppings on. So for this pizza, start with some olive oil. And then 2.5 spoons of tomato sauce. Okay, then we're going to put our cheese on. So again, when making the Italian pizzas, you don't want to kill it with too many toppings, make it too heavy. So that will do for us. And now some vegetables. And this one's going to be a vegetable pizza. So I'm going to put, we've got onion, we've got pepper, we've got broccoli. And you don't want to go too crazy. All right, that will do. So now the last little bit of pulling before it goes in. Okay, here it is. There you go. Put it in here. Looking perfect, that one.